Hello, I am Danny Wales. I'm here with my two brothers, Randall and Gary, and we are all three licensed amateur radio operators, better known as ham radio operators. My call letters are KA4VTW, Randall's are KK4VKM, and Gary's are KR4CZN. He's the newest one, so I sometimes forget his call letters. Anyway, we are here at the shack, as it is called, of Randall with his radio equipment, and he is going to explain to us some about the hobby of ham radio, how he got started, what he's doing right now to make contacts, and a little bit about his equipment. So, over to you, Randall.
All right. Well, just to kind of give you a history of how I got involved with it, I actually got involved in high school. We had a radio club in high school, and I got involved with that and ended up getting my novice license. And this was back in 1973. And you could only use Morse code when you had novice license back then. So I had a little 30-watt transmitter and a separate receiver that I had set up. And I talked to most of the United States with the 30 watts. And two different antennas strung between trees and telephone poles, and using only Morse code. I did that for about 3 years or so, and then I dropped out of the hobby and picked it back up about 15 years ago. And what I'm currently doing now is called FT8. It's a digital form of communication with ham radio, and it uses your computer as well as your radio to communicate basically all over the world. My call sign, is, my brother said, is KK4BKM. I am a general licensed technician or licensed operator, and I really enjoy the hobby. It's a really good hobby for me. The microphone you see in front of you here is actually used for something called Echolink. I can also get on my computer across the internet and get on a program called Echolink and talk to people all over the world using voice. That does not involve radio, but is another way that ham radio operators can communicate. I'm also into astrophotography a little bit, kind of a new hobby I've started, and there's one of the pictures I've taken from my backyard during my astrophotography. The computer you're looking at here is used for research purposes, for email. It's on the internet, so it's kind of a informational type of computer here. The screen down here you're looking at, the laptop, is set up with all the software I need to run FT8. There's a program called WSJTX that actually runs this program that helps me to make contact throughout the world with this digital mode of FT8. What you're looking at on the screen here are people that are popping up here wanting to talk. And we've got somebody here from Dominican Republic, we've got somebody here in the US. And so what I'm going to try to do here, just go to the US here, he's closer, double click on him and see if we can pull him in. Now you see when it comes yellow up over here, that means I am trying to contact him. If he contacts me back, it will turn red, and we have to contact each other a couple of times to get a complete conversation. And we'll kind of keep an eye on that. If you look up at the top screen up here, these are contacts I have made in the past. I have made over 4,500 contacts with FT8. And that involves 96 different countries. So as you can see, it actually is a worldwide form of communication. The screen you're seeing to the right here has a couple of things going on it. It has the entire world is cut up into grids, and the dots you're seeing here are different grids I've contacted in the United States. And if I back it out, you'll see, oops, I'm still trying to contact. But you'll see all over the world I've made contacts. Over in Europe, down south, let me stop my communication here for a minute so I can kind of show you. If I back this out, you'll see where I've made contacts. So all those little dots are places I've had contacts, and it goes on down to South America, over to Europe, over into Africa, over to Asia. So it really is neat. Australia, New Zealand, China. So I have been all over the place making contacts. So it's really a cool hobby. Below down here, you're seeing the activity currently on 40 meters, and this is particular frequencies that we're trying to work with. All these red dots are people talking, and occasionally you jump in and you pick somebody up and they'll communicate with you. They're either talking to you or they're talking to somebody else on here. So that's what all this red is. Now, if you look on it down, you'll see my radio. It's an ICOM 7300 radio. It is capable of going up to 100 watts. It can do single sideband, which is voice communication. It can do CW, which is Morse code. It can do FT8, FT4, various forms of digital communications. I've had this radio is connected to what's called a long wire antenna, which I have outside wrapping around my house. And I live in an HOA community, so I can't have a big tower out in the backyard. But it does pretty well for what it is. I have gotten out over, well, I think 12,000 miles is the furthest I've been, down to Australia, with that antenna and 100 watts of power. So you don't have to have a lot of power to do this. What's over here is my antenna tuner. I have to make sure that my radio matches up with my antenna, and that's what I do with this. When I change frequencies or go into different bands, I have to tune this up to make sure that my transmitter matches my antenna. And this is the power supply for my radio. You can't just take the radio and plug it in the wall. You have to have a 12-volt power supply that plugs in the wall, and that goes into my radio. This down here is just a speaker for my my radio, because the speaker that comes with it is on top, and you can see it wouldn't work out very too well. So I just have a speaker down here I can turn on anytime I want to hear the radio. I don't have to do that if I'm just running FT8. Up here I have an audio amplifier. I used to use vacuum tubes all the time, so I kind of got me a vacuum tube audio amplifier, and that actually is powering the speakers that I have on my computer down here. The twin speakers I have down here from my computer. Let's see. What else would you like to know?
About this big screen behind me here.
Well, this is called a ham clock. And what this is showing, it's showing the world, it's showing potential contacts that can be made under basically perfect conditions, which we don't have, and I don't have a big tower. In ham radio, you can actually go up to 1,500 watts of power, and I only have 100 watts of power. So you can see I can't reach out everywhere right now that they say I should be able to go. KK4VKM, my call sign up at the top left corner. Below that is UTC time. It's 1:34 in the morning UTC time, which is a universal time that's used all across the world. Below that is my time. Little clock down here says DE. It's UTC -4, which means I'm 4 hours behind UTC time. So my time right now is 9:34, and UTC time is 1:34 a.m. The VoiceCap DEDX up here is showing current conditions in different bands of ham radio. And you see 80 all the way goes up to 10 And the green means it should be good conditions for contact. The yellow means it's iffy, and the black means there's no contact at all that you can make. Live spots over here, it talks about the different bands again and potential contacts you could make under the right conditions. The hot one right now is 20 meters at 792 contacts. Then you have 17 meters at 86, 40 meters at 76, and 80 at 32. That's under really good conditions. I don't have that capability right now with the equipment that I currently have. Next to that, you have actually the sun, and that should be a very good, I think that's an actual picture of the sun that we have here. Okay, and it's kind of showing the sunspots and so on. So it kind of gives you a general idea of what's going on out there. Again, it's called a ham clock. It comes on a little computer. I think I paid $40 for that. So it's pretty amazing. So that's kind of it for right now. You want to know anything else?
What are some different aspects of ham radio that you can be involved in?
Well, ham radio can be as in-depth as you want to get it, or it can be as simple as you want to make it. Okay? So a lot of ham radio operators build their own equipment. They actually get the components, they actually build their radios. They're big on building antennas, putting up towers, setting up amplifiers, what's called linear amplifiers. I could take my radio and I could actually run into what's called a linear amplifier and amplify it up to 1500 watts. Now, I would get thrown out of here if I did that because I'm in our HOA community, but it's possible to do that, and a lot of people do. And like I say, you can go up to 1500 watts. If you have a nice big tower, 1500 watts, it's no problem to reach over the whole world, really easy. But there's different aspects of it, you know, the voice, the code, the digital format, anything that you want to do. So you can get it deep into the electronics part of it. There's actually software developers that develop different software for ham radio. So if you want to go into that aspect of it, you can. But I just like to play with what I've got. I do play a little bit with some software. I don't develop software, but I load some software that helps me out with what I'm doing here. There's a lot of software out there for this. So
what is this piece of equipment with the red handle right there?
This is called I'm going to say this wrong, embletic key, and this is for Morse code. And you push over once for a dash and back this way for a dot, and I can set the speed up on my radio for how fast I want that to go, anywhere from like 5 words a minute to like 60 words a minute. And trust me, I can't do 60 words a minute, so that would be kind of slow. This is a look at the frequency range of the different bands and who can transmit on what bands. There are 3 different licenses available in ham radio. They are Technician, General, and Extra. Technician is entry level, and it is restricted to certain frequencies. General, you get a broader band of frequencies to work with, and Extra, you can work the entire band, all the bands. Currently I'm a General. I may work on my Extra a little bit later, but I'm happy right now with what I have. But you do need to stay within the bands, or the Federal Communication Commission may send you a nasty letter. So the difference in this and CB radio, you don't have to have a license to run. But the difference is you have channels. You just click channels on your radio for CB, and it only goes up to like 5 watts, maybe 8 watts, not 1500 watts. So you're getting way up there in ham radio. So they don't control CB radio anywhere close as much as they do with ham radio. So that's why you have to have the license. You got to take a test to get your license, and so they kind of keep an eye on that. The FCC does.
I see the AARL handbook. What is AARL?
American Radio Relay League. It's the backbone of ham radio, if you will. It's they come up with the rules and regulations, and they put out a book every year. And that what you're looking at is the 100th anniversary or edition of ARL. This came out in 2023, and it is absolutely full. Anything and everything you'd ever want to know about antennas and radios, about propagation of radio waves, about coax and the transmission lines, and anything you want to know. This has got it all. So it's a great reference book if you want to know more about like microwave. Anything you want to know is going to be in here.
Interesting.
Just dig it out.
I see up here on your bulletin board something about our coffee shop on a roll. What is our coffee shop?
Coffee Shop is a group of people that get on Echolink, and you can have various designated groups on there. And I'm a member of the Coffee Shop, and it's just they meet twice a day, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day, and it's just a bunch of guys. They get on there and talk about whatever they want to talk about. It's in a form called Gravitational Roundtable. And what happens is when you first log in to there's a list of names. You go to the top of the list when you first come in. And as people talk, the bottom one talks, they drop out. The list drops down one name. He goes to the top. So when you get to the bottom, it's your turn to talk. And it's a really good format. There's all kinds of stuff out there on Echolink, but that is a really good group to get into if you want to just get in there and chat with some people. And they're a good group of people.
What is this with all these words and letters and dots and dashes up here?
Well, that is Morse code. It shows each letter and the corresponding Morse code character, if you will, dots and dashes to it. And then beside that is the alphanumeric code. So in other words, instead of saying A, I would say alpha. Maybe I need to say F, it'd be foxtrot. T is tango. And that way you don't get confused with C and B and D and, what was that? Was that a C or a D or a, so you put words to letters to clarify what you're actually saying. And that's called alphonomic.
Phonetic.
Phonetic. I can't get it out.
Very
phonetic
good.
Letters. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do you have to spend all this much money and have all this equipment to enjoy ham radio as a hobby?
No, you can actually. I know people that just have a cell phone.
Me.
And they get on Echolink with a cell phone, and they talk all over the world. I know people have talked to Japan several times from a cell phone, and but no, you don't have to have all this. I just enjoy it, and over the years I've kind of built this up, and it's a ongoing hobby type thing. I may rearrange this or add another piece of equipment in or take something out. And that's the thing about ham radio is that you do as much with it as you want to or as little as you want to, and it's always evolving. You're always changing your station up. You want to put this in or take that out or move this around or put another piece of software in or whatever you want to do. So it's a great hobby.
I've heard something about Field Day. What is that?
Yeah, Field Day was just last weekend actually, and Field Day is where ham radio operators go out actually into the field and they set up radios and antennas, and they run everything off of generators. Now, this is simulated if there was some kind of emergency that came across the country, and they needed to communicate with other people throughout the country or throughout the world. So they set this up not using any kind of wired power, and they set the generators up, they crank them up, and they see how many contacts they can make. It's a contest, basically. How many contacts they can make, like in a 24-hour period. And it's really a fun thing to do. It not only is fun, but it's practical, because you're testing out your emergency equipment and to see if you actually could do this in case of emergency. And emergencies do happen. Hurricanes come through, tornadoes, floods, all kinds of things happen, and ham radio comes into play in many of those times.
Very good. All right, well, thank you for your time. In conclusion, what advice would you give to someone who is just considering this hobby?
Well, I would say you need to work with somebody that's been in it for a while, and a lot of times they're called Elmers. Now, Elmer is not necessarily their name, but an older person that guides you through the process and can help you get into the hobby is just generally called, quote unquote, an Elmer. So if you know anybody that's in the hobby, been in it for a while, talk to them. Go to their ham shack and see how they do their ham shack and what they get into. And most hams will be happy to help you get into the hobby. It's kind of an ebb and flow in the hobby. It went down for a while. I think it's on its way back up. You got cell phones, you got all this stuff. You can talk anywhere. It's not really about that. It's about the hobby itself. But I would advise someone to get involved with a ham radio club, or get involved with somebody that has been in ham radio for a while to help get you into the hobby.
Well, thank you very much, and 73.
Wow, 73 to you.